So why are you doing the games?
Because you're here?
Good answer.
Well, she gets quite a few of them. Maybe not all 7 every day. I get at least 3 or so.
Why do you feel like now that you do them?
Gets her in her head before I get on her. And if I'm about to barrel race and she's being stupid, I just get off and do games on her until I get back on. Like if I go to step on her and she wants to walk away and not stand, then I do the steady pressure and I move her rib cage and
Right.
both directions, and then she stands and I get on her.
What would you call that?
What would I call what?
Is that called a connection or?
Yeah, well, it makes her respect me more, so then I get her respect before I get on her.
Cool.
Puts her in a frame of mind of I'm the boss, not her.
I can see a pretty little different eye, I think, than this summer. Very good, bring back. Good. Good. It's kind of funny because on my videos on the internet, you're getting no views on the games. You get some views on my YouTube on my circle, but as far as the games go, like they've been there all summer and you got 6 views, 7 views. And it's like my mentor said in his book, or about his book, he said, I want to see the coffee stains on the first part of the book. He said, everybody puts the stains on the back half of the book, where all the exercises are, riding exercises are. But the gist of this horsemanship is how do we get into these horses' brains, right? And that's what these games are for, is we're trying to think like a horse. But nobody wants to, you know, get the connection. Just want to get up there.
Get the buck out of her. A little more play out of her. She's feeling fresh in this fall day.
Good.
Alright, that's up to this one.
I'm going to do the sideways with steady pressure. So it's like she's going to open a gate, but she's not on the horse. Hind quarters, fore quarters, hind quarters, fore quarters, and then if you can, just get in the middle. Push them hind quarters more, then the fore quarters, then the hind quarters. Very good. Rubber. So there, as I was taught by my mentor, is that the better the horses go sideways and backwards, the better they do everything else. So you can see there that in order for her to go sideways, she needs a pretty good attention span. good. Hindquarters, 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 and forequarters, and hindquarters. There you go. Good. This is how, here, just grab this. This is how I would do this, just a little different for, see, I'm going to hold this stick down here.
Okay.
And I hold it out by that handle, so I'm going to go forequarters. If I'm having a little trouble with them hindquarters, I could use a little rhythmic pressure with the stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rhythmic pressure. Now this is one, stay with me here, and I'm going to do this one because I want you to get this. So this is the rhythmic pressure with this, and I'm going to use steady pressure here, and I'm going to get this horse alongside this grass patch and back her up. And it's going to resemble when you come into a barrel, if it was like your third barrel, how outside stays stationary, inside's rhythmic, right? Because what I've tried to do this summer is keep you away from this.
Right.
We're not good enough. Our horse isn't good enough yet to do this. And we kind of tried a little bit and it wasn't working. Right. So one steady, one rhythmic, right? So I'm going to get over here and get kind of a little bit of a squeeze game. So one steady, one rhythmic. I get a little bit and I rub. Play little games here. Watch how I stop my body. Right? You're in school. Focus. Watch how I focus, because we're going to get into the focus today. That's what's going to get you ready for the weekend, is focus. Steady, rhythmic. Just kind of lose their attention there. Let's go again. Steady, rhythmic. Good. Doesn't have to be a lot. See, now I'm putting her in school and she's looking over there at her horse, right? But
yeah.
She'll get, because she's just not sure. Stop. Steady, rhythmic. See? And that's what we're going to do in the barrel. I want you to understand that that's where I took you this year. I was like, I don't want her going to the Western store for bigger bits, and because it won't work, right? Because our whole deal in this horsemanship, someday we want to be able to drag on that jaw and have our horse come back to us. But this horse is young, and you've maybe taken 30 hours with me. It takes more than 30 hours to get them to where you can drag their butt into the ground at the speeds that you're going at.
Right.
Sure, if we were loping around, we could drag her into the ground. She'd go, but you come to me trying to win some money, and I'm like, ooh. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. And first of all, though, focus. That's where and then what comes before focus? The thought.
Okay.
The thought is, where are we going to go with our focus?
Right.
Where am I going to watch this weekend? Indoor rodeos, right? That you're going to, tighter. So just walk with me here. And I want this for my students here, or that's on social media, to understand when I'm talking about our success this summer. I said number one was focus, and number two was angles, right? So angles in approaching the first. I see so many, watch this, this is my angle here. This isn't slow, but I'm here at the third. See how I'm here? Now knowing that corners shorten a horse and straight lines lengthen. So I'm going to make a corner here in my run. Now I'm going to be riding forward over to this barrel here, right? To where I can get, if you come closer, side because I had that angle before and I couldn't see it on video either.
Okay.
And then what the next thing that happened with you was you kept, and a lot of girls do this, they're scared to knock this over, so they do all their work over here.
Yeah.
And when I got on this horse at Pinoca with you and Billy, this horse wanted to be over there when I walked.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, let's put her right here for a while, and if she gets a little snug, then we'll move her out some. But for right now, she thinks that's good. And it isn't good. Number one, they don't clock. And number two is their feet aren't close enough together to be athletic to get around the barrel, right? But if we put her here and kind of guide her with some bend, now her feet can get up underneath her so she can get the traction to get around here.
Right.
You see them girls going out here, it's like, oh, I don't want to knock one down. Yeah, they run an 18.0, but and half of it is you gotta get on top of this thing and turn it, right? But then again, you just stay there. Here's my angle. I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be a little hard to see from that angle, but here's the normal girl that I see. They're coming in here pretty tight to this barrel. So they're here, and then when they're going a million, then they can start panicking like you did at Delburn, right? Pulling on that inside rein, and all that happened was, oh, and it sends you over there to where they can't get athletic and make the turn. But if we, watch me move over here now. I come down the middle of the arena here and make a corner here. Now I'm riding this away at this barrel, right? And I'm not worried anymore. I've done that. I already done that on that corner there. Was asked him to make that corner. So I thought that was success for you. I thought was getting you away from there, right? And then the easy thing. That was the kind of, again, I tried to keep you away from pulling on two reins, so we put a throttle in there. It was easy.
Yeah.
And we did that on our big circles, right? Horse kind of gets tired, like I'm getting with my breath right now.
Mm-hmm.
You say, easy. And you let them break gait, come to a trot, rub them, and then that was your success. So that's what I'm going to get you ready for this weekend and the indoor rodeos. Focus, and again, what comes after focus? Well, where do I go? So when you go look at your barrel pattern before you go to your rodeo, you say, all right, I got to be looking over top of my horse's ears, and I got to pick my spot, whether it be in Pinoca's indoor or whether it's at these Western or at the FCA finals, right? And your job is to, like Bill Belichick says, do your job. And your job is going to be to focus and get your horse to them spots, right?
Yeah.
And after that, you can't do nothing. So focus and get your horse to them spots, but knowing, get a game plan. Where do I got to go? So then I'll get you ready. My job is to, all right, now that I've brought it up, we got to get her focusing. And then what goes with focus is where your eyeballs are pointing,
right,
where your chin's pointing, and where your pelvis. So your focus is no good if you're coming into your first and you're going like, because look where my chin went, look where my chest went, right? Mm-hmm. Look where my hips are. When girls talk about keeping them hind quarters underneath them, well, in order to do that, look what happens when I pick my focus up, my chin up, my chest up, my hips up, and now I want you to just give me that phone for a little bit. Look at Marianne's spurs here. Show me that rowel. That can be the difference maker right there. Because the next thing I want to bring up is how we teach horses to go. So this, to me, is for dressage. That's what lifts the rib cage up. When you want horses to go, I teach them right from day one, squeeze with all four cheeks, all the way down, through my butt, through my thighs, through my spurs, and as soon as they go forward, I'm going to pop my feet off. In the colt start, and I rub them. They went that far. Squeeze with all four cheeks, whip myself, get it longer, and they go, pop it off. So that's watch my focus. I'm headed out with my colt. Squeeze with all four cheeks. Pop it off.
Okay.
That's going to be our you can focus this weekend and keep your hips going forward. And with them I guarantee you, with them rock grinder rowels on, and again, Marianne doesn't ride with them all the time. We got a soft, medium, and hard of everything we got, bits and spurs.
Right.
If we have to put sharp on for a little while to tell her to follow our focus, because there does end up being some physical for a while until they can follow a feel, right? Okay, so that's what we're after. So guess what we do when after we've done the ground games, right, is Marianne's going to try and get a little bit of the snuff out of this horse and try and leave it alone, let it run off and pull it through the middles, get them shoulders softened up. See how her hands are forward and she just got good focus. And horse isn't running off. Marianne feels more comfortable with some draw reins on. We take them off when we run her, but when horse is fresh, she just as soon have just a little bit of security. Marianne's not claiming to be the big time horse trainer. It's not like she doesn't need an aid once in a while. But notice how her hands are forward and up. She's giving that horse the option. If she wants to lean on that grass over there, then she's going to pull on them shoulders and pull her through the middle. I want you to show my people now that, because we always do this circle thing, show them how we soften the inside of our horse now after things are good. So see how she's got outside fixed, inside she's softening, just like that, and then she releases and rubs on her horse, right? Because she got the horse looking into the circle by not letting it drift out and pulling it through the middle, so the horse knows the circle on a loose rein. So now she's softening the inside of her horse right now, meaning her toes turned out. When she pulls on that nose, that keeps her horse from coming into me. And she keeps driving it forward into the bridle, and it gets soft on the right-hand side here. Just so you know, we're going to do the same thing going the other way. And then guess what? When we're almost done riding, we're going to pull on two reins, and we're going to have vertical flexion. Control of the horse's jaw, which someday we would like to be able to pull on two reins and get her to slow down, but until she's old enough and we've done a good enough job, we're definitely not going to try pulling on two reins in our barrel run until we know that she understands what it means. You got to think, folks, we grew up on horses. And our dad told us what they're supposed to do when we pull on two reins. These horses don't know when we shove that piece of metal in their mouth what's supposed to happen when we pull on that piece of metal. So we train one side at a time, right? We start the ground games with lateral lunging. And we jump up there and we start bending on our horse, so when they're colts and they go to run off, we keep from them killing us by pulling on one rein and bending them. And then after that goes on, then we start doing this right here, so we can start looking at getting vertical collection by working one rein at a time. And then someday we'll pull on two reins at a time, and by that time we're going to have our respect, which is our ground stuff, and our emotional, which is our circles here, is our go, meet our woe. And then once we get the emotional, then we can work on the physical, which is pulling on two reins, starting to hang pictures on our walls of our house after the foundation is up and we got walls up. Then we can start on the physical. First of all, we get the mental, then we get the emotional, then we get the physical. All right, I want you just to get off your pockets a little bit. See if you can cluck around here and then say the easy word. Really keep your focus up a little. Think of it, you're going into that first barrel here in one of them real tight indoor rodeos. All right, say that word in here. Good job. and rub on your horse. Okay, so we want that easy word because that keeps Marianne from pulling on two reins at the barrel, and when she stays fixed with an outside and bobbing with an inside rein. Okay, just gonna rest here for a while and rub the hair off her horse, and then we'll go the other direction. So this is Marianne going the other direction, and I really like what I'm seeing here, how she's really getting good at letting her horse go and finding out what this horse wants to do on its own. You can see the horse staying pretty flat in the circle, not very much arc in her body, which is fine. But she's still staying on the circle, which is the emotional part, right? Now, when we get that going, that means we can start pulling on the physical and start softening the inside of our horse up. See, this horse almost looks out a little bit. So we can start softening on that inside rein, pull that inside rein and really pull on it. Overbend that spring and let it go and rub your horse. And just do it and do it and do it. Again, folks, we harden these horses up on the weekend trying to win some money. We bring them back here during the week and soften them up so we can go on the weekend and win some money again. Got to get some shape put back in these horses. Notice when this horse is going around here and isn't trying to leave the circle, how it reaches with an inside hind leg. Because it does have a little bit of bend on its own, but we got to put a little bit in there for her too. There, now we're starting to see some shape. Again, we're going to have to put some physical in. Someday she'll follow a focus and a feel of us on her own. As long as we can keep her quiet, keep her understanding, keep her moving forward. Good, very good job. Make sure when you're going to the left, you got your reins in your left hand, because that puts your left shoulder and your left hip forward, because you're in a left lead. There you go. All right, speed her up, say easy. Pick your focus up. You're going to that first barrel, it's a tight indoor arena. You got to really focus on staying in the middle of the arena for a while. Good job. One fixed and one rhythmic. Good. It could be better, folks, but that's pretty darn good. This horse here, I'll guarantee it, has got a lot of gas, a big personality with a big motor, and she does pretty good for what she's got inside of her. Lets us help her and train on her. So I'm just getting Marianne to canter the pattern here. I'm going to see what she's got. Come over here on a loose rein. I'm going to see what she's got. Not bad. Alright, so Marianne's trying to con me into making sure this horse is solid for the weekend. And what horses do when they try the second barrel is they dump on their front end and they lean on your hands. So I'll just lope her over there, because Marianne doesn't like to lope a lot, which you don't have to. And we're going to see if she's going to go ahead and lean on my hands. First of all, I'd like you to show the people our angle coming into the first, all right? A little bit of an exaggeration, but I want people to understand how we don't go. This is a cardinal sin to me. See here, I am too tight. With a lot of speed, come over here. because it's hard to see on the, you can see it well from there. All right. So see, and then, so they get here and it ain't working, so they drag on this inside rein. Now we got a horse going way over here, and they can't get athletic underneath to make this turn, right? So, what we're going to do is you're going to get back over there, and I'm going to come down here. See how I can come down here to the third barrel. Now I start coming almost by this barrel. Now if you come up here and look, come right across here. I kind of know what it's going to look like on the camera. So I am a good 2 strides to where I'm going to be riding straight over to the fence. See, I'm riding now to this barrel. And I get on top of it. See the difference? Is that I had a good 2.5 strides riding that way. To where if you get too tight to this, right? And another thing is that, okay, so then some girls would go, that you want to get done here is, again, when we don't let our horses lean in the circle, that would be the same thing on the barrel patch. So if you come down out of the alley and you feel your horse leaning on the timer, instead of just going like this, which is she's gonna end up fading in, right? We're gonna huck her off her hands, so we're on a loose rein, right? Over there. Huck her over, bring her back. I did was I just felt she was just a little stiff in there, like right beside the barrel where she just kind of wanted to flatten out. And I just kind of, if she didn't do great, I double wrap her. Still, I got another barrel, so it was like I don't have to like go around 15 times. I got another barrel and another one. And I just tried to kind of get it doing enough to where I get her left brain thinking a little bit, right? And I just went around, I just pick her up with that leg more so. Hands last, like focus, belly button, leg, hands, right?
Okay.
And just kept going around and just knocking that. She kind of got a little quiet the third time around to where she was like, all right, because at first she's rammy and tight, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the random barrels. You're not on a pattern. You're more worried about the efficiency of going around the barrel. When I feel that's not very efficient.
Right. That's what I felt on her. Yep. pushing him forward, pulling him off your hands.
Alright, so I'm not got a horse, guys, but Marianne wanted to keep this horse honest, right? So I tried to let the reins down and canter over here, and when horses aren't honest, they dump on their front end and they straighten your elbows out. Now, is it because of our focus going and letting them? Because it's very seldom I've ever seen a picture of somebody looking up and the horse has pulled their arms straight, right? So we kind of fall for it, right? Which I don't want. I want you to, so all I did was I stayed fixed on an outside and I stayed rhythmic, and I almost tried to bump her in the roof of the mouth, and the foot was trying to keep the roundness and driving her forward up into this, making sure I got tail passed. A little long is okay on the second, and then, you know, kept them ribs around. And basically I just used my random pattern to kind of get her left brain, because she's pretty hot. And I just went to the next one, and again, I'm just kind of easy, but driving. You've got to keep that motor going, right? Keep it running underneath. And I just rhythmically bumping that rein, one fixed, one rhythm, get her up in there, just go to the next one, go to the next one. But it's an easy, but keep driving. It's a clutch. Our easy is not a whoa. Did you notice that we did not teach whoa? Right. Whoa means do not go one more step. We taught her easy. That's a clutch. Easy, rhythmic, keep her driving. Just keep that clutch going, keep them hind legs driving. And that's all I basically did, is just go around enough times to where I got her left brain and she could feel me sit, but keep driving forward, and then let me handle them ribs and keep that roundness. I felt her a little bit tight in the rib cage, and I always think about dropping that elbow in, dropping that calf muscle in, dropping that spur in, lifting them ribs up and around. Okay?
One thing I noticed, you said easy about 20 feet back as you were coming across.
Because I could feel it in my body that it's like, listen, I need you to stick this clutch in.
Okay.
Because I'm still going to drive you forward, right? Like
Yeah.
easy is a clutch. Easy doesn't mean, yes, on the big circle we want them to change gates. But generally when I teach easy on the big circle, I don't. I go from a medium canter to a slow canter.
Right.
I keep them driving, right? So that's the difference. So I'm coming over there and I'm asking for an easy because I'm coming from kind of an erratic canter over here, wanting a controlled canter. So that's my easy, and I knew, like, that's why I started way back there. It's like, hey, easy, but keep driving. Okay. And then I want, give me that camera, and what did you learn today? What do you?
Well, I learned more about using that driving, because I've been doing easy at a long trot, really strung out, and letting her just break down, and that's probably what's putting her heavy in the front end.
Could be. Yeah.
So I'll do more what you just did of easy, but keep driving her forward and not letting her.
Good job. Good job. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it? That's all you learned?
That was my cherry for the day.
Okay, good enough. All right, so Marianne's trying to con me into making sure this horse is solid for the weekend. And what horses do when they try the second barrel is they dump on their front end and they lean on your hands. So I'll just lope her over there because Marianne doesn't like to lope a lot, which you don't have to. And we're going to see if she's going to go ahead and lean on my hands. First of all, I'd like you to show the people our angle coming into the first, all right?